So what is up and how are you getting along? So in this video we are going to catch up where we have left in the last video. So in the last video we have completed the whole navbar, as you can see, including the search functionality and the notifications functionality plus the profile page logout functionality, basically this drop down content. So we did the notifications functionality and we are going to do a minor upgrade in this video. So the notifications and the total navbar is completed. In this video what we are going to do is this and this. So they are pretty straightforward, right? But why am I making a separate video only on these two? Because I really wanted to break things down and make it simple for you. I want to engage you in my videos and I want to keep you interested. So I'm breaking this video only this and this. In the next video we can completely focus on the post image upload and how to upload the image to the database and how to display the posts over here. So we are going to do everything in the next video where we can do this, but in this video I'm going to keep things simple, which is this and this. So are you guys ready? I'm going to get started. So first what you need to do is go to Visual Studio Code. So this is app.js and now we are going to make another div with a class name of app page. And after this there is a sidebar. Let me create the component first before assigning the component over there. So first what you need to do is create a new component known as sidebar.js and a new CSS file known as sidebar.css and another component known as sidebar2.js and another component known as sidebar2.css. So what is sidebar2? This is sidebar 2 and this is sidebar 1. And after let's close this. And now let's go down. First let's import those. Import sidebar from sidebar. Perfect. And let's also import sidebar 2 from sidebar 2. Perfect. Now let's go to sidebar.js and type in rfce, and let's not forget to import the CSS file. Perfect. And now let's go to sidebar2.js and type in rfce, or let's copy this code and paste it right over here and change the CSS file to sidebar2.css. Now we are done with the initialization and now let's go to div app page and over here let's declare the component with a prop known as user. By now you should have understood what are props, and if you don't, you didn't watch my previous videos. So go ahead and watch my previous videos, make sure you completed them and make sure you understand them, and then come to this video. So this is done, and next this is the sidebar 2 with a prop again, user. And now we are done with app.js and now let's go to app.css for some styling. Just a line of styling. Dot app page display flex. That is enough. Now let's close app.css and app.js and open sidebar.js. So inside sidebar.js at present there is nothing. So now first let's import the user prop, and after this what you need to do is import link from React DOM. And now we are done with the initialization of link, and after that let's give this div a class name of sidebar. And after this there is a link to slash, and now we are going to come to a new component. So why do we need a new component? Let me break it down for you. Let me open Epic Pen to draw some things. Okay, here is Epic Pen. Keep it right over here and the size. So basically this is our sidebar component. So this is our sidebar component, and now we have two options or two ways we can design this. The first way is that you can directly assign these and manually hard code it, or you can reuse the code of a specific component. What do I mean by that? So you can make a component known as sidebar row.js, and after making a component you can call it inside sidebar.js, which is this. You can call it over there these many times, how many tabs you want in the sidebar. So this is one component, and this is one component, this is one component, and let me go further. So these are all components. And why am I designing components for this? It is better to use components rather than hard code everything in one component. So this is one component named as sidebar row.js. I guess you understood the basic structure, and we are going to use this structure right over here to this as well. So we are going to use this same structure over here as well. So right over here as well, we are going to use the same structure over here. So let me close Epic Pen now as I have explained it, and let's go to our Visual Studio Code and make a new component as said, sidebar row.js and sidebar row.css. Inside sidebar row.js RFCE. It's going to be easy. Sidebar row.js is just like a template. So you're going to reuse the code and make a template. And let's not forget to import sidebar row.css. Perfect. And now from sidebar row.js, let's import sidebar row.js. Sidebar row. Perfect. And now we need to call sidebar row right over here. And first of all, we need to send props to sidebar row. Because we are using sidebar row as a template, we need to use props in order to tell what information should it display each time. So over here the prop is avatar. Why am I sending that? Because if you notice, the avatar is quite different and it requires extra spacing only for this. So that is why we are sending avatar. And after that we'll send another prop known as image link. Photo URL, basically to display the photo. And after that, what is the title? It is our name or the currently logged in user's name. So this is the code for this one. And after this we have some more titles, some more images right over here. So we are going to send some more image links. If you copy this and paste it, as you can see, this is an icon. Basically we have many icons over here and many titles right over here. All the code is available in my GitHub. You can go to DecaCode73.com, enroll in my course, and there is a link to the full code. So you can go over there and note this down. And after this is done, what you need to do is make another sidebar row. Actually, we forgot to make one sidebar row, which is the drop down. Drop down image link is null. So this is see more. For that there is no image. This is basically an icon, SVG icon. So we are going to only use this. So there is no image link, which is null, and we are going to send a prop known as drop down, and title is see more. And after this is done, and we are not finished with sidebar row yet, we'll be doing it. But let's finish sidebar.js first. HR, and inside this div class name is equal to policies. And after this, privacy, the class name, so the first policy, dot. So this is a dot. Within each policy there is one dot. So for that, let me copy and paste all the policies. I'm not going to type it because there are many policies, and after this we are done with sidebar.js. Now let's work on sidebar.css. So the CSS is quite simple. First of all, the sidebar, the flex is 0.2. So where are we declaring display flex? Do you remember in app.css there is display flex for app page? So that is why we have kept that. And what is flex 0.2? So this is basically 20%. This is 20%, and this is going to take some percentage, and this is going to take some percentage. Just like that, we are going to assign flex 0.2 and some margin top, 200 pixels. And after this, so dot sidebar and dot hr. We are using dot hr because the default hr doesn't look so good. We are going to customize this as to our needs. 16 pixels, and the margin bottom is 10 pixels, and the margin right is 16 pixels, and the margin top is 8 pixels. And there is a border bottom because the basic functionality of HR is for border bottom, right? And 2 pixels solid, 3E4042. This is the hex code for that nice little color. And after this we have the policies. We are not going to style these right over here because we have made a separate component, sidebar row, where we can style all of these. So display flex, what is the flex direction? It is row, and color is A3, A6, AC. This is a gray tone. And what is the width? 260 pixels. And flex wrap. This is going to ensure nice little wrap. Margin right is 10 pixels, 16 pixels. And after this we have the p tag for in the policies, which names all the policies. For this we are going to have a font weight of 400 and a font size of 13 pixels and a color of B0B 3B8. Gray tone again. And after this we have the ads. So basically ads is just this one right over here, the ad choices. This one is the ads icon, and for that icon I have used the custom styling of Facebook. So this is the sprites, as I have explained you in the previous lecture. These are called sprites, and we are going to crop each icon in the sprite. There is no background repeat, and display inline block, and there is a margin with a width and a height, and the background position, and the WebKit filter over here is explained in the last lecture. And if you didn't watch my last lecture, please go ahead and watch that and make sure that you completed it. And after this we are going to make the website a bit responsive. This website is not very responsive, but we are going to make it slightly responsive. So for example, if you are watching this website on a phone, then you would not see the sidebar. That is what I am basically saying over here. Now sidebar.css is over. Let's see, sidebar row is not defined. Okay, yeah, it's not defined. Import sidebar row from sidebar row. Perfect. Now let's see it. Okay, we are getting something like this, which is not expected. I guess we made a mistake because the HR tag or the HR line over here should come above the policies. Let's go to sidebar.js and check our code. Yeah, this is the bug. Now let's check the code again. Yes, this is good. This is quite good. Now we can code sidebar row.js, which is quite simple again. So first of all, we are going to receive some props. such as the image link, such as the title, the drop down, and the avatar. And now this is a class name of sidebar row, and after this we are going to have an image tag. src is image link. Alt is equal to class name is equal to, first of all there is some JSX over here, sidebar row icon. So this is basically a sidebar row icon, and if there is an avatar present in the props, then paste in a separate class name which is avatar, and if there is a separate drop down, paste in a separate class name called as vanish. So basically to vanish the image tag, and the image tag is over. And after this we have a div with the class name of drop down div, drop down, and display. So I'm just saying that if there is drop down in the props, then give this class name of display. And inside this div we have a class name drop down, and if there is drop down, make it display. And after this we are going to have a h2 tag with a class name sidebar row title. Perfect, and we are going to have the title right over here. And sidebar row.js is done. That's it. Isn't that easy? Now we are going to go over the sidebar row.css. Sidebar row display flex. Flex direction is row. Margin left is 17 pixels and padding top is 8 pixels. Margin right is 160 pixels with a width of 90% and a transition of 100 ms ease out. I'm going to explain this. What is this transition and cursor pointer? All the other CSS rules are very familiar to you. Basically this transition over here is to apply this effect right over here, this slow delay effect, the delay hover effect. And let's see our website. This doesn't look so stunning, but we are going to make it stunning. So sidebar row is done, and whenever we hover around the sidebar row, we are going to change the background color. Let's check the website. Yes, we are able to change, and when we hover around the sidebar row, there is some delay between the transition of one tab to another tab. If you watch it carefully, there is some delay, and that delay is very nice and outstanding, and that delay is very nice to watch. And after this, for the sidebar row icon dot avatar only. So this styling applies only for avatar, border radius of 200 pixels. Now if we go back, as you can see, this is a border radius of 200 pixels, and this applies only to the sidebar and nothing else. Not the sidebar, the avatar. And after this, we are going to have the sidebar row icon, and this is, let me, height of 28 pixels and a margin left of 10 pixels. Perfect. Now let's check it out. Yes, the icons look damn good. And after this, we have the title with a font weight and a color, a font size, and some basic spacing, and everything looks good. And after this, we have the drop down, which is basically the icon. Let me show you. So this is the sprite, as I told you. Let me copy and paste it one more time to give you a basic idea. So this is what we are importing, or maybe even this. We are importing some icons from this sprite based on cropping. So if I want this icon, I'm just cropping through some CSS rules. How am I cropping? using this background size and background position. Using these two, I am able to crop the sprite. And there's a height and width and margin, some basic spacing, and web filter, which is familiar to you as always. Drop down dot display will make it display block. And after this, drop down div. Display is none. And margin left is 10 pixels. Background color is 445546. This is the background color. Width or border radius of 200 pixels, a width of 20 pixels, and a height of 30 pixels. So this is drop down div, and after this we have display and vanish for drop down divs. So this is for display and this is for vanish. Now let's check sidebar row. So okay, we are done with the styling, and I just ran around the code and I found some mistakes in my styling. So these are some basic errors. So let me rectify them. So first, the padding top over here, it is not 8pc. PC is different from px. Px is pixels and PC is a different unit. So let's make it 8 pixels and see the difference. It is a rapid, drastic difference. And after this margin top over here looks unusual. And for that, I made an error again, sorry. In sidebar.css, the margin top is not 200 pixels, it is 20 pixels. Yes, this looks good. So we are done with this whole sidebar. But what is this? This is going to line up once we have all the components set up. For example, if we have this setup and this setup, this will take only this much of space. So don't worry about that. We are going to rectify that after we did this. And also this, but this is going to make some change. Now let's get started with this component. So there's another change as well. This one over here should not stick the wall. It should not stick the wall at all because it doesn't look so good. So for that, what we need to do is add another line of code to dot policies, which is 16 pixels of margin left. Yeah, this looks good, and we are completely done with this sidebar. Now let's go along with the other sidebar. Let's close this and let's go to sidebar2.js. And inside sidebar2.js, we are going to have almost the same template but slightly different. And first of all, let's make another component, sidebar2row.js and sidebar2row.css. And after this, let's make some basic imports in sidebar2.js. First React and sidebar2.css and sidebar2row.js. Actually, we are in sidebar2row.js, sorry about that. We are going to make this over here. React is imported and sidebar row is imported as well. Now we are going to give this a class name, sidebar2, and there is a HR right over here. And after this div, we have div class name details. This is where all the details go. And h1 contacts. Nice. And there is an icon, which is the search icon 2. Because we already have a search icon declared, that is why I'm keeping the name as 2. This is because of my extension known as auto rename tag. So basically, if I rename this to something like row, it changes right over here as well. That is a pretty good extension, right? But that leads to some problems. As you can see, this is a practical problem. If I remove this I over here, that gets removed as well. So moving forward, I class name over here another icon, which is the more icon, the 3 dots, and after this we have some contacts. And inside the contacts we have some images. And I took some images from Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber and my family members, images from Facebook, and taking images from any website is quite easy. Let me show you how to take the images. And first of all, let me keep a comment right over here. So that comment states that how do you take all the icons from the Facebook page? How do you get all the icons just like the Facebook page? And the answer to that question is quite simple. For example, let's take a test website. Let us go to DecaCode73 for a test website. And what if I wanted to take some icons such as this, my own logo? So I can go over here, and as you can see, there is this SRC. I just right click it and I get this drop down. Now when I click open a new tab, I get the whole page, and now I can copy the URL and paste it inside the image tag SRC. So that is how I usually take icons. And sometimes there are I tags, and there's a different secret on how to take that I tags. I'll not be telling that secret in this video, but that is reserved for a later video. So this is done, and we got some errors. Element type is invalid. Okay, element type is invalid. Go to sidebar Routu. Sorry, not Routu. It's sidebar2.css, and let's style this. First of all, sidebar 2, display flex direction of column, width of 100%, margin left 10%. At media, this is for responsive website. Screen end, max width is 1200 pixels. Dot sidebar 2, margin left is 0. So I don't want to keep any margin left if it is a max width of 1200 pixels. And over here we have dot context next. Dot context with a margin top of 10 pixels. And next is the H1. And for the H1 we have the font weight and font size just like the before CSS where we did the H1. And after this we have the search icon 2. And I basically again scraped it from the website. This is the icon, and next we have the dot more icon as well. Perfect. And after this we have the dot details, and make sure that you understand all of this. I explained this. Details display flex, and flex direction is row. And next we have a bit of responsive website again, where the sidebar 2 is none if it is viewed in fonts or something like that. So sidebar 2.css and sidebar 2.js is completed. Now we need to go to sidebar 2 row.js, which is this, and this is the final component of today's video. This is quite simple. Don't worry about this. Quite simple, RFCE. And first let's import sidebar row 2 and avatar. And inside this, let's import the props, image URL and title, and let's give this a class name. Oh, many typos. Sidebar 2 row. Perfect. And then an avatar whose class name is avatar, and SRC is image URL. You guessed it right. And alt is title. So what is this alt? I'm saying alt many times. What is alt? So if you go to the original website, and as you can see, the image URLs provided by me are not valid. Let me go to the source code, and let me go to sidebar.js, and let me copy one of the link and paste it. URL signature expired, and at the time of scraping the website, or when I actually took the photo from their website, it was a different URL and now it is a different URL. So Facebook has its pictures secured, or their photos are secured. Their photo URL changes from time to time. That is the basic meaning. So if there is a broken link like this, then what it does is it takes the first character from the alt. So if you see Ed Sheeran, there is the first character E because the link is broken. Justin Bieber, the first character is J. So that is the basic logic. And after this, let's close sidebar2.js and h1 title, and we are done with sidebar2row.js. Trust me, we are done. Now let's go to sidebar2row.css. With only some lines of code, we can complete this. Display of flex and flex direction of row, margin left of 16 pixels and cursor pointer. And don't forget the padding, 10 pixels. And after this, whenever I hover around the sidebar to row, change the background color, border radius and the width. And next we have the avatar with a height of 35 pixels. Important. Nice. And next we have the width with the same styling as above. Perfect. And after this we have the sidebar row h1 tag, which is the last styling, and we are done. This is basically the color, font size, font weight, margin top, and that is it. We are done. Now let's check our website. Oh, this doesn't look so good. Okay, so I'm back and I just fiddled with my code and saw where I did wrong, and I found out my mistake. So first, let's go to app.css. And over here, there is a small typo. If you can spot out what is the typo, then you can spot other errors and you can be a great developer and spot out other mistakes as well. So I'll give you 5 seconds time. So spot out the mistake, and this helps you a lot. Learn how to spot out mistakes and learn how to spot out errors, and that will improve you as a developer. So I'll give you a 5-second timer, and the timer begins now. Okay, time up, no more cheating. So the typo is right over here. An extra underscore is missing. Let's save this. Did you get that right? If you got that right, pat yourself. Now let's go back, and this looks quite good. And as you can see, this should not be right over here. This should be right somewhere over here. But how to solve that issue? That is not an issue first of all, because whenever we insert this component right over here, this will space itself out, because now we have only 2 components with display flex. Let me explain you with that epic pen and drawings. So this is epic pen back again. So this right over here is inside a div known as app page. Do you remember? It's inside a div known as app page, which has display flex. So inside flex, what are we providing? So first of all, this is display flex, and we also provided another piece of information, which is this should take 0.2 spacing, display flex, and we provided this should take some spacing. And now what is the issue? This is taking some spacing, and this is taking some spacing. Everything is good, right? But what if this takes 0.2 and add up 0.2 and 0.2? Are you good at math? 0.4 is the resultant. So 0.6 of the distance is missing, and that 0.6 of the distance is covered by this component right over here. 0.6 of the distance is missing. So that distance is not visible. And for that, what we need to do is insert an other component. So if we insert an other component right over here, right somewhere over here. I'm drawing it right over here because I don't have much space to draw it like this. So I'm drawing it right over here, and we can keep a spacing like 0.6. And if we keep this much of spacing, everything will be lined up like this. So everything will be lined up. I guess I'm cluttering it. Let me remove some. Did I actually remove everything? Yes. Anyway, no problem. I guess you understood the basic logic behind it. So we are going to follow that pattern, and in the next one we are going to solve that issue. So for this video, that is it, and there is one more bug in this code. And that's not a bug, that's a styling issue. Let me show you that. There is not enough space for this. How can you give enough space for that? Let's go to app.css, not app.css. Let's go to sidebar row. Let's go to sidebar2.js, sidebar2.css, and right over here we have some margin top. And let's also go to sidebar.css and copy the margin top, which is over here, and we are done. Let's go and check it out. Yes, the styling is damn good. It looks really stunning, and it's all very good. And in the next video, what are we going to do? Any ideas? We are going to do this. We'll be able to post like this, and we'll be able to like, we'll be able to comment. That's awesome, right? So if you are excited about the next video, please drop a like, and please share this video to as many friends as you like, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'm going to catch you up in the next video, but for now, peace.